So I got a call out from a bloke just up the road from me a couple of months ago now. He had a snake in his garage. He wasn't too sure what it was. I went up there, it's a brown tree snake, caught it, everything was great. He had a really cool looking fish tank just sitting in the side of his garage, not really doing anything. And I said, oh, nice looking fish tank. He said, mate, it's yours. So I got it. This is it here. It's a Repti 1 tank designed for a turtle to live in initially, but I do not think turtles should be kept in something like this ever. But anyway, it's not bad. I think it's like 2 foot. It's a good little tank. I brought it home. Usually you set these up with some media in the back and you run a filter in them. But I'm not going to do that. I've got another idea. Till last week I went to the buyback shop and I found this frame. Now it's aluminium, cost me $5, and it turns out that the tank sits on top of that perfectly. So I'm going to strip it back, just give it a bit of paint, probably black. Like I said, I'm not doing anything flash. That'll do. That's enough to get paint to stick. So I'm just going to give it a wipe over now with just a little bit of mineral terps, using an old rag. This is actually a pillowcase that a friend of mine, Kimberly, made for me years ago. But my very acidic head gradually ate it away. So Kimberly, it's getting a second life as a rag. Okay, so it's all painted. Not pretty, you know, you're going to see some of that, I don't know if you can see it, some of that pitting, but anyway, look, it's going to serve its purpose. It's black, I've got to let it dry, and the council has parked in my driveway. So far, everything with this tank has worked out really well. It's 60 centimetres wide, it's 45 centimetres deep. The stand that I measured from the buyback shop is also 60 wide, and it is 47 centimetres deep, so I've got 2 centimetres to play with. I saw this bit of ply at Bunnings yesterday. Beautiful, 600. I just got to cut myself a bit that's 470 wide, and we're having a party, plus I don't have to paint it. Hey, have a look at that. I think that's looking not bad for what am I up to now? I don't know. Must have used about $8 in spray paint, and yeah, I know the bit of ply cost me $20, but I've only used I think a third of it, so I've got some more left. But yeah, so far pretty good. Obviously, when it came to the painting of it and like the chopping the board and stuff, like I didn't film that because fucking why? I don't know why anyone would want to watch Will time lapse with some free music I could find somewhere on the internet, do some painting and chopping. So yeah, use your imagination. So I kind of had this spot planned for it. It gets a little bit of light, not too much. It's right next to the aircon, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. It didn't really take too much to level it out. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with that. The one thing I'm not happy with is Mel didn't put me bloody terps back in the fridge. Jeez, I hate drinking warm terps. So what I'm going to do with this tank, because Mel hates any unnecessary contributions to the electricity bill. She don't like that. Fair enough. So with a lot of fish tanks, people put filters in, they put heaters in, there's lighting, there can be air stones, all this sort of stuff. This one's not going to have any of that. It's going to have none of it whatsoever. I've had a fair bit of success with tanks over the years by just minimising the hardware and getting the beneficial bacteria and plants to do the work. And they do a fantastic job. So usually what this tank would have is a pump in there, in this one. It sucks the water in through there. The pump pumps it up, pumps the water through that. The water goes down there and underneath this one, because there's a gap between the floor and this one, about that tall. Goes underneath that, comes up through some sponges here, goes over the top of this one, goes through some sponges again, goes underneath again, and then comes up and pours out this hole. So I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm going to do is fill up the back with scoria, or like quinquin, and I want to put plants in there to actually just do the filtering of the water. The only thing is there's not going to be any movement in the water, so the roots will be able to pull nutrients through that. I'm going to cover this with water too, so just a bit of nutrients might go through there, but I'm probably going to have to put some more holes in this, and I didn't know how to do it because I thought it was glass, but having a look at it, it's plastic, so I can use the grinder or the drill and just put some extra holes in this, so that there's plenty of exchange between the plant roots that are in here and the water that's out here with nitrates and phosphates and nutrients. You want plenty of exchange through that, so that's what I'm going to do. So it's not pretty, but it doesn't need to be. All that plastic slag, I should be able to scrape that off with a flat blade. With the slag cut off, it looks a bit nicer. We'll keep going. I've put it into place. Still looks a little bit out of place, but it'll blend in. The more plants that are put in there to kind of break up those sharp edges, it should start to blend into everything pretty nicely, hopefully, or it'll look like shit, one or the other. Melaleuca, leucadendron, or just your big old paperbark tree. Dug that out of the depot at work. It was growing up right in front of the shed. I might use it in the tank. Now I've washed the dirt off the roots of this. Really what I want to do is put it in the back there, but I'm going to fill up the back with a bit of scoria first before I start dropping the scoria in there, because it's got to go in there and I can't get my hand in there. If I drop scoria in there, I might crack the bottom of the glass. So this geofabric, geotextile, mate of mine Jason's shoulder got me onto this. Great stuff. You put it in the bottom of your tanks when you're setting stuff up. It just softens the bottom of the tank, so you don't worry about scratching or bashing up everything. Over time, it just dissolves, turns into nutrients in your tank, and your good bacteria or your plants eat it up. It's excellent stuff. You can get it from Bunnings. Get some of that. That's full up with the scoria or quinquin. Picked that up from Bunnings. I've got my melaleuca in it that I got out of the depot at work. I might wrap a little bit of bonsai wire around it and just shape it and trim it off a little bit. Kind of forgot to do any more videos. That's why I'm not very good at this stuff. People say, do YouTube. I wouldn't, it'd suck. But yeah, so I've managed to fill up all that with scoria. I did kind of run out. I had to go and pinch some from the filter from the pond out the back. But I've put in there the melaleucas there, a bit of bonsai wire around it just to try and angle him out there towards the sun. The Hoya in there, I don't know exactly what species. It could be an exotic one, which kind of goes against everything that Mel and I do. But that was given to us by our lovely friend Judy, who's a beautiful person. So we'll give it a little altar, stick it there, so the Hoya will grow there. There's a climbing pandanus in there. There's another little, what's it called? Raphidora. There's a Raphidora in there, native one. Some native maiden hair ferns, they're tiny. Some of the native taro, which you got here. I kind of tore a leaf when I was putting it in. Another one there, and some, I think it's called Peronia, Pepperima. I can't remember. Kiralee, you know the name of this one that you got us. And I had a big piece of wood that Sandra got us when I was out on the train with her the end of the year, I think. And it's been sitting in the pond out the back, just getting covered in good bacteria and leaching tannin. So put it in there and it's filling up. Got some tidying up to do now. So there you go. I know there was a whole bunch that I didn't kind of include in there, but like I said, there was things like me grinding, me painting, me filling up the water all the way, and then piss farting around trying to arrange all the plants. It's not, riveting watching. So skipped all that and just gone straight to the finished product. So I'm pretty happy with it. Last you saw it just had the scoria in the bottom, but I have put some sand in there just to fill in the gaps, and it'll also help that beneficial bacteria grow in there. Obviously now we just got to wait for all these plants to get established. We've got to wait for the tank to mature, for bacteria to start growing in there, for a little ecosystem to pop up. There's no fish, there's no snails, there's no crustaceans of any sort in it at the moment. We don't really know what we're going to add in here. Like the 2 tanks inside, I've got my Far North Queensland rainforest tank, and I've got my Gulf Savannah river tank. This one, because it's a bit mismatched with the plants, some of them are, you know, Savannah species, others are rainforest, one's exotic. Maybe this will just be the garden tank. But anyway, if you got an idea of what we should put in here, and remember, there's no filtration, there's no oxygen, there's nothing like that. Yeah, put it in the comments what you reckon I should keep in it. But I went and got this little light from Bunnings today. I think that was $40 for the light. So altogether, like the tank was free. Like I said, the stand was like $5. I used some black spray paint, which is like $8. Yeah, I think I'm getting away for about $60 to get the whole tank done. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty great. We'll see how it all matures. But whether I'm happy with it or not doesn't really matter, because it all comes down to the boss. I've got to ask the boss.
I'm the boss.